taking you inside. I'm going to give you top 10 reasons why coming to Hogs to finish up your helicopter rating is one of the best choices you can make. This is one of the best places in the country that you can come and take a helicopter check ride. And I'm going to give you the list right now. As soon as I ask you to give us a like and subscribe if you like free content on pass and check rides, flight and ground training, the whole ball of wax. So here we go with number one. Our DPE has over 35 years of experience giving helicopter check rides, and I've been working with him for 24 of that 35 plus years. So he's just a text away when we're trying to work up your check ride and get a date that works for both you and the examiner. We can get right to him right away and figure out a date that's going to work. He doesn't have the backlog that you hear at some other places where he's 2 months out, 6 months out. We've heard from 2 to 6 months on examiners being booked off in the future, so you don't have that problem with us. Reason number two, one-on-one exclusive with you. You're not sharing the schedule with 3 or 4 other people coming in, messing up the day. As we sit down here in our ground school area, and it's one-on-one. You on one couch, me on the other, and we just start hitting the ground school along with the flying to make sure things are covered. Number three, it's a laid-back atmosphere. We got coffee and a coffee maker and a George Foreman grill and an air fryer and a refrigerator. You can bring in snacks, drinks, whatever you want, and we'll actually also cater to you and find out what you're going to want for the week while you're here, so you're not having to run off and run back to the hotel or run down the street. Everything's right here. And at most, we'll have Lindsay over here doing possibly some editing, and then Heather is either upstairs working on her stuff or occasionally might be over here at the computer next to the couches, but it's going to be no more than 3 of us 95% of the time. So it's exclusive, it's super laid back, nobody leaves the Hogs hangar unhappy. Number 4, maintenance logbooks on site. All right, so when we want to look up maintenance logbooks, it's right over here, boom, in the cabinet or in the drawer, along with our oil, paper towels, and so forth. Logbooks can be a big deal. Logbooks many times aren't shown to a student. They're locked up with the mechanic, or they're locked up at home with the owner's other paperwork. Aircraft maintenance records are always here. Number 5, lunch at Hogs every day. We don't do the, okay, let's pile in the car and drive 15 minutes to find a place, and oh, they're busy, and then we got to go somewhere else and go sit and wait on food. We don't do that here. If the weather's good, we cook on the grill, and we have anything from burgers to chicken to shrimp, whatever you might need to eat, we'll make sure that you're fed. Saves us that time of going out and wasting an hour and a half of our day to go somewhere and eat. So this way we can get through our day, have lunch, keep going. Number 6, we're not time builders. Obviously, I'm not a time builder anymore. I've been doing this long enough. I don't need hours in my logbook. Chris Hauser, that helps me here often, he flies corporate. He comes down and helps on his days off. He doesn't need time in his logbook. So we're not time builders. Not to knock somebody new to the industry, but that's the majority of what they're doing is they're out there just trying to fill that logbook with time. That's the reality of it. You don't get that with us. You're going to fly no more than you need to absolutely get through the rating. That's it. No fluff, no added padded hours on there. We fly you as much as you need to fly to a standard and pass the test. Number 7, we're careful to not overbook. That's a problem you'll find at a lot of places. You got too many students, you don't have enough aircraft, you don't have enough instructors, the examiner doesn't have time. So we make sure that we schedule these out. We put a lot of time and effort in working with you, making sure your knowledge is ready before you come out, checking on the maintenance on the helicopter, making sure maintenance is done. That is a problem at a lot of flight schools, is overbooking. Number 8, close accommodations. I'll just walk you out here and show you. There's one really nice hotel. It's just across the runway, basically, on the other side of the airport. It's right over there. So 5 minutes tops, maybe even 3 or 4 minutes to the local hotel. And then we have several others in town, all reasonably priced. And over there, you've got everything you need by the closest hotel, Walmart, some restaurants, pharmacy. Everything you need is right here. You're not going to have to travel anywhere to go find what you need while you're in town. Number 9, Daily schedule, 2 flights, 1 hour each. And what I want to talk about there is what those of us that have been doing this a long time, we know that about a 1 hour flight is about the limit of what anybody can take and they need a break. So we schedule our day so that you come in, we sit down, hey, how you doing? Did you get some sleep last night? Are you hungry? You get anything to eat? Do you need anything? Do you need a drink? Do you need a Coke? Anything you need. We talk about what we're gonna do. We do the pre-flight, push the helicopter out, get fuel, go in, do your startup, do that flight, come back, properly debrief that flight, what went right, what needs some extra help, you know, what areas do we need to focus on moving forward, sign the logbooks, and boom, before you know it, it's lunchtime. So you sit down, take a break, get some food. When we're refreshed, same thing again. All right, what are we gonna do on this flight? Go out, do your second flight of the day, come back and again, debrief, do a little ground throughout the day, and pretty soon you know, oh my gosh, it's time to go back to the hotel already. We try to leave around a 7 or 8 hour day because that works best. When we first started doing these final approach courses, we were doing 3 flights a day. That turns into a 10 to 12 hour day. It's rushed. And after that first year, the last 2 years, we've said, you know what, we're not doing that anymore. 1 hour flight in the morning, 1 hour flight in the afternoon. In between, we're pre-flighting, post-flighting, signing logbooks, and doing ground school. Super, super effective. Next up, we do a Zoom session with you, or multiple if we need to, over Zoom. I sit down right here at the table, and I do a Zoom with you. That way, before you arrive, I get an idea of where you're at, how you're doing, how well you can answer questions one-on-one over Zoom. Because you're gonna meet me for the first time, and it's kind of different, and it's not a lot different than meeting an examiner for the first time and having to answer questions, right? It kind of puts you in a little awkward environment, but that's good because that's one of the best ways to test your knowledge. So we schedule those Zooms, and that way we get to know you a little bit. Before you even arrive, we already know you when you get here, instead of you just walking in the door and us getting started and you feeling kind of overwhelmed. The Zoom sessions are super, super helpful as well, just to kind of get you comfortable where you're at, find out where your knowledge is, and have a game plan for when you arrive. Next, we highly recommend going through our courses. Specifically, we'll use Private Pilot, for example. We have progress tracking, so we can go in there and make sure you're going through the videos, make sure you're going through the content, because the people that do the best and ace the check rides have went through every single video inside Hogs at least once, if not more than once, to make sure that they have the knowledge, because there's nothing I'm going to say to you in person that you're not going to hear inside Hogs. This helps you get ready before arrival, going through there, and we can work with you too by just kind of keeping track of where you're at, what you need to be working on, and make sure you get through all the content before you arrive. So I fooled you. We called this top 10, but we're going to keep going. We're actually now on number 12, customer support. Again, Heather is usually right here or upstairs during the week, but she takes care of the Hogs phone line 7 days a week. So Heather will get all of your documents before you head out. We'll have her send you all of your documentation. We'll make sure that you have your written done. We have everything that we need, because that's another problem. People showing up, not having what they need, and oh hell, I gotta send home and have them send me this, or oh man, I took the wrong written test. Whatever the case is, we go through all the documents, have you ship them here for your training file before you arrive, so we eliminate any of those problems that pop up when somebody shows up with something that they should have had and they didn't bring with them. We have a pretty open schedule for both the R22 and R44, again, because this is, I don't know if you want to say you have to qualify or you're handpicked. We don't just, we don't do 3 or 4 or 5 of these a month. We usually do 2 a month is what we like, because we have plenty of time to do maintenance in between the check rides with either the R22 or the R44. We can do maintenance, work on Hogs, and be doing the things that we need to be doing on a monthly basis to keep helicopter online ground school. So we keep it limited on purpose, because that's the problem a lot of flight schools run into. You got too many people, not enough aircraft, not enough time with the examiner, instructors leaving to go to other jobs. Common problems. And here we go. I'm carrying around my list, and I'm using the ACS as my piece of my, backboard to keep my paper solid. This is a problem that we see all the time. And I've been seeing the problem for 20 some years. Instructors in flight schools aren't always going through the ACS that was the PTS. This is so important, and I see it continually, time and time again. I harp on it all the time. We are going to use this. We're going to make sure you have it before you get here, and we are going to work through the ACS. This is the check ride. As simple as this is, I'm telling you, the amount of instructors that aren't using them and the amount of students or applicants that show up, either they don't have one or, oh, well, yeah, I think I have it on my iPad, or they pull it out of their bag and it's pristine. I can tell they've never even looked through the stupid thing, right? You got to be using the ACS, and you are going to go through the ACS with us because that's how you make sure you're prepared for the check ride. Common problem with instructors in flight schools not using the ACS. You will be using it. Number 15, aircraft maintenance. I already mentioned it, but I'm going to mention it again. The longer I'm in this business, the bigger I have become on maintenance, right? It isn't like I've gotten lax. It's like I want every single thing right. I don't want anything wrong on the aircraft. I want all maintenance done on time, and we even spend a little extra to have mechanics look at them, even when there's nothing wrong with them, right? Even when it's, let me rephrase that. I'm guilty of in the past operating a helicopter where I only took it in because it needed a 100-hour, 50-hour, or there was something wrong with it. We do, I'll call it progressive maintenance, where I'll pay a mechanic just to come take a look at the aircraft, even though there's nothing wrong, and they're in between inspections. Because, example, a mechanic can come by and go, hey, I was checking this thing out, and this pitch link is a little bit loose. And it's within tolerance, but we're going to need it pretty soon, so let's get one ordered, have it over here on the maintenance shelf, and when we get close to it, we need it, boom, it's a quick change. Using that style of maintenance is worth its weight in gold. The money I've spent paying guys just to come and take a look, again, mechanics, experienced mechanics to come out, has saved me thousands. And I could bore you with the story. I've talked about it before. But you're going to fly an aircraft maintained properly. And unfortunately, there's a lot of shady operators out there with some shady maintenance. You're not going to deal with that with us. But wait, there's more. Number 16, simple procedure to get you flying. So again, I want to back up and mention how all of our ground is right here. Our logbooks is right here. Our helpers are right here. When the examiner comes in the day of the check ride, he comes right in the door. We have everything laid out. He puts down his laptop right over here, and boom, get you going. So as far as getting you in the flying every day, everything we're doing right here. We're doing the ground here. We're doing all the maintenance or all the ground school, pre-flight, everything in here. And then when we're ready to go, we just flip the wheels up. We open this door, and it's just a short push right out the door. And the other thing that I love about being here, the line service here has been absolutely incredible. We call them, and if they're not fueling another plane or a jet or something, they're here in like 3 minutes or less. Like, we push it out, we call them, we're closing the door, kind of getting things ready, and here they come. So I've been to plenty of flight schools where it's not that simple, right? Like the fact that we can do everything we need to do, pre-flight, logbooks, copy machines, bathroom, snacks, everything is right here. We're not traveling to go get stuff. And again, it's a quick flip up of the wheels, call the fuel guys, push it out, remove the wheels, and we're ready to go flying. It is so easy. And again, after a recent trip to another flight school, I was like, oh my God, do I miss home, right? Because everything was so strung out all over the place. I'm telling you, that's such a big part of this, is just how simple, easy, laid back everything is. Number 17, I've only had 4 people fail in 24 years now. It's a lot of check rides to have not many failures. And the reason we've been able to do that is because I was lucky enough to be trained by good people who in the beginning harped the PTS, harped the POH, harped reading aircraft accidents and incidents. I just had good people that trained me. So in turn, I used that knowledge from what those instructors did with me to help me get through my ratings. I learned the tricks. Not even tricks, I just learned the right thing to do. And one of the biggest ones is people not using this, as I've already stated. So it's just many years of just taking the time to make sure people have what they need. And I want you to fail. I mean, I want you to pass. I don't like, I don't want to make it number 5 in 24 years. I want to wait a couple more years before I maybe have failure number 5 within 25 years. No, I'm just teasing. I mean, people are going to occasionally fail, right? It's part of it. But 4 in 24 years, that's a pretty darn good record. I'm very, very proud of that. Number 18, we have this thing called askhogs.com. So we're sitting here a lot of time between these two couches. Again, it's usually me and the applicant. Sometimes Hauser might be here. But we're sitting here doing ground school and we're throwing questions back and forth. And we're using our typical resources to look things up, FAR/AIM manual, POH, private pilot manual, whatever the case is. And then I'll go, well, heck, let's just use askhogs.com. So askhogs.com is 14 years of my content, blogs, podcasts, videos, paid content, free YouTube content. It's all been piped into askhogs.com. So we've sat here at times and we're wasting not wasting time, but we're spending much time looking stuff up because we need to be able to look things up and show the examiner, correct? However, this tool, askhogs.com, is freaking incredible. Like we're stuck on something, it's taking too much time to look something up. We use askhogs.com, and that is something that's free to any of you out there watching this video. Askhogs.com, you can go there and ask helicopter-related questions 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It is free, and you can ask as many questions as you like. Again, after recently visiting a typical flight school, oh my gosh, you had one tiny little office with 2 or 3 students in there and somebody working, doing the office work and instructors coming and going. And then it's freaking chaos. It's just like, oh my God, everybody's competing to talk over top of each other. People are sharing aircraft coming and going. And I get that's just the way it works and it's just the way it is for a lot of flight schools. You don't have that here. You don't have that flight school chaos. People coming, people going, mechanic coming and going. People coming in for intro flights, people coming to pay their bill. No matter what the case is, the typical flight school is just hectic. And usually the areas are small, so we're avoiding the typical flight school chaos. And number 20, I sat down and just wrote these out the top of my head before I hit record on the camera. Tailor to you. And there's plenty of examples I can use, but the example I'm going to use is, I don't care if you want to use paper charts. I don't care if you want to use an iPad. I don't care if you want to use both. I don't care. Our examiner allows both. So what we do is, when you get here, we take you over to the cockpit, and first we ask you, what do you want to use? All right, do you have a knee board? If not, we have a knee board for you. But we make sure we get you in the aircraft, and we get you comfortable, so that while you're here, you're using whatever combination you're going to use. And I suggest, I think the best at this point is a knee board, an iPad, and a sectional chart tucked underneath the pant leg so that you're super comfortable in the aircraft. But again, I don't care what you're using. We're going to make sure we go through with you the time to make sure you're comfortable in the aircraft and you can navigate properly, get to your iPad. And again, here we'll just give you a little demo real quick. Very simply, I think this is the best. I like an iPad, or I like the knee board right on my leg. I like my iPad with ForeFlight right there. And then I like it, taking a sectional chart, have your route marked on it, and it goes underneath the iPad right on your leg. So if that iPad would freeze, it would lock up and you had a problem, you can pull out the handy dandy sectional chart and save the day with the chart, because on most check rides, you're only gonna have to do one checkpoint anyway. So if you have that as your backup, that's perfect. That way you have the new age electronics that's super easy to use, and then you got a good old paper backup. And yes, I order the sectional chart in case you didn't have one, because everybody says, oh, well, you can't get them. Yeah, you can. You go on Sporties and order it and have it in 3 days. All right, so I'm gonna wrap that up for you. That's 20. I thought I'm gonna do the top 10. I just started writing so fast. I'm like, well, I wanna add that, and I wanna add that, and I wanna add that. And this is what's reported, from people that come in and do the check rides with us. And it's more than one, and some of these guys have even talked on the videos, right? It's like It's proven, okay? And it's just years of experience, knowing what gets people through. So if you're interested in a final approach course with us, reach out to Heather, 574-767-1797, text or call, and Heather will get back to you. She'll ask you a series of questions to see if you qualify, and then we'll do a little chat, and we'll do a Zoom, and we'll get you set up, find a date, and we can make that check ride happen. And before you go, we got 2 free resources here, top 10 check ride tips. This is for specifically taking the check ride and getting prepared for the check ride. Private Pilot 101 is private pilot training specifically. Still has good tips for training, even for moving past the private, but it's really, really good for those of you that are working on the private. Whether you're just starting out or you're even nearing the end, there's still plenty of good content in here to help you get through the ground and help you get through the flying. So again, if you enjoy our content, give us a subscribe, give us a like, give us some interaction down below. I'd love to hear what has been working for you wherever you've been flying, what you're doing. I'd like to hear what's not been working. This video is the end of 2024, moving into 2025. I would love to hear what's happening out there for other people as far as trouble with getting check rides done. I know that we've heard recently still one of the biggest problems with check rides is iPads. iPads freezing up, iPads locking up, or somebody has to do a diversion and they've learned to use their iPad, but they're not good at having a lot of practice with zooming in and out and figuring out an actual distance. So that's kind of what we're hearing, a lot of problems still happening with electronics. You know, they're great. I don't blame anybody for wanting to use them. I highly recommend it. But we recommend iPad and a chart underneath just in case. Super, super simple. So again, subscribe to the channel, leave us some comment down below, give us a like, let us know down in the comments what kinds of things that you see good and bad with check rides and training, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace out.